Welcome back to the Capes and Tights podcast right here on capesandtights.com. I'm your host, Justin Soderberg. This episode is once again brought to you by our friends over at Galactic Comics and Collectibles at galacticcomicsandcollectibles.com. Fittingly enough, the comic retailer and proprietor of that store, Galactic Comics, is back once again to talk about another movie. This time around, the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993, where two Brooklyn plumbers, Mario and Luigi, must travel to another dimension to rescue a princess from the evil dictator, King Koopa, and to stop him from taking over their world. Yeah, you'll hear all kinds about this movie. This is not your 2023 Super Mario Brothers movie or the new one in the theaters right now. It is different. But before you listen, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, all those places, as well as rate, review, subscribe over on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcast. You can also watch the video portion of this podcast over on youtube.com. And as always, you can visit capesandtights.com for so much more. But this is a discussion of the 1993's The Super Mario Brothers movie with Paul Eaton, Galactic Comics and Collectibles. Enjoy, everyone. Wait, am I gonna get shut off of that? Welcome to the podcast, Paul.
Oh, good question.
I don't know if the algorithms or the AI nowadays are gonna pick up on my horrible rendition of the Super Mario Brothers theme song. But I'll tell you what, Paul, I was happy with this movie that it started off that way. Like the very first song you hear in the movie is the theme song, right? I mean, that's where they ended. That's where they should have stopped.
That's about the end of it. Yeah.
You did a good job. Credits. Let's just turn the movie off now. This is a credits only movie.
So here's a question I'm gonna pose to you first. Did you watch this movie as a kid?
Not as a. I mean, when they came out in '93, I would have been 7. So not at 7.
In
not
theory,
at 7.
we're the target audience, although
So there's a quote, and I wanted to say that. No, I was probably more in my teenage years. So probably early 2000s when I watched it for the first time. It's more of a stumble upon probably because at the time I'm doing something at a dollar bin or some sort of $5 DVD bin, and it was in it, and I was like, wait, they made a Super Mario Brothers movie, that kind of thing. I was also a big fan I love the movie The Pest with John Leguizamo, and so I like John Leguizamo, and so that connection too, and plus Spawn, John Leguizamo playing Violator the Clown.
Yeah, this is now our second movie we've seen with him in it.
But no, so here, it's a funny thing about you mentioned it is that I didn't see it, but you mentioned it being a kids movie. John Leguizamo, I was looking up some stuff, felt one of the biggest reasons why it went the way it was is the directors wanted it to be more of an adult movie when the studio was considering the source material saying it should be more of a kids movie. So there was that mixture of it didn't really know its audience thing.
No, This movie definitely felt lost in that. So I didn't see it as a kid either. I was 11, so I probably was once again potentially the target audience for this movie. Also, I say it's interesting target audience because it kicks right off going into Brooklyn with a giant Newport cigarettes ad, a huge billboard for cigarettes, and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting choice.
Well, you got to get them into it young, Paul. You have to be into cigarettes as a young person so they're addicted and they'll be good forever. No, it's also a difference in time because they don't do ads like that in movies anymore. You don't see ads for cigarettes and things like that too. But yeah, you didn't know what age range it was trying to go for.
No, not at all. And I didn't watch this movie either. So I remember as a kid, my first thing, I feel like the previews I didn't think looked great, and then the action figure line came out for this before the movie really released, and the figures themselves look stupid. The characters looked stupid, and I was like, I'm out. I'm good. I'm not watching this. And it's funny because Liz watched this with me, and she watched it as a kid, so she has nostalgia vibes for it. So it's interesting the difference. You and I have no nostalgia for this movie.
Other than that, it's one of those movies you love to hate, so it becomes that it's in your vortex a little bit because you talk about it because you like the shit on it kind of thing, that aspect of it. It's not
this is not good.
Well, it's funny too because it came out in the video game, the mass produced most popular video game, because there was obviously the arcade game prior to the Nintendo game, but the Master came out in 85. This movie came out in 93. And so it was only 8 years. And Bob Hoskins even said in interviews that he didn't know he was making a superhero, or sorry, a video game adaptation movie when he signed on to this movie. Like this movie wasn't in his like 'cause to him it wasn't
That's
like
crazy because
he wasn't into video
1990
games.
1990 was like one of the biggest Super Mario drops. Like that was the big like game that really like
But if you're not into
became
video
like
games, like
Mario
if you
became
weren't
like,
into
I feel
it,
like mainstream.
but if you weren't into it, you might not like it might not be. I mean, there's things that I say to you, we're into pop culture and we know these things, but there's things where I'm like, how the hell do you not know about this to someone now? Like, how do you talk to someone and be like, how do you not know this? Like,
Video games were definitely still oriented to kids at that point in time, which I think is some of the confusing part of this movie. Because at that point in time, your video game system was a family thing and a children's thing. And I could see Mario, while being huge, still not necessarily catching like this actor particularly. And then this movie was so confusing as to is this adult, is a kid? It has like sexual overtones, cigarettes constantly, the cigarette ad. But yet at the same time, it's not adult. Like the plot makes no sense
no, they also
whatsoever.
did. Even if you said, hey, this is going to be a loose adaptation of the video game, it's still not a good movie. This is not like, hey, they didn't do a good job with the adaptation of the video game. They also just made a bad movie. So change the name and change the plumbers' names and make it so it's like not even connected to the movie, the video game at all. Because you could easily do that. It would be a horrible movie anyway. So it would be lost even further. The only reason why it's even in popular culture nowadays is because of the name and the relationship to the video game.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it's developed a cult following, even though I think the cult following is for the fact that this was the first video game movie. This, I was reading about how this movie tried a lot of stuff that at the time it was really pushing your computer graphics stuff that certainly was not there. You watch this and it's terrible. But Liz was like, I don't know. She's like, I have nostalgia for this bad 90s attempt at CGI. Like, she's like, it's so 90s. I'm like, it does. It shows its age, and it also shows it exactly at that. It's like going back and playing old video games now where the graphics are bad, but you appreciate it because it is what it is. So I can see some people having that vibe for this, and the fact this movie was just such a tank. It bombed. Like, it's considered one of the worst movies ever made.
It is, but it's also thinking about it. It's like
I think because of how much they invested in this movie.
Well, they 42. So if you just base it off of like obviously advertising for it and all that stuff is not included in these things. This is basically like a lot of times when a movie's made for $100 million, they spend $500 million on the whole thing because they $400 million in advertising. But it was made for $42 to $48 million estimate. It made 39 in the box office. So it's like if you think about it, out of the scale of what movies we've watched in the past who have failed and miserably failed to see movies failed, it didn't do as bad in the box office as it probably should have done, but that's mainly probably again has to do with the fact that Super Mario Brothers name was on it, and so that if you everybody went to see it, and it wasn't if it was today, if this movie came out today and was this bad, no one would have gone and seen it. But because social media wasn't a thing where you couldn't tell your friends all over the globe that the movie was sucked,
I am sure this was at least one fast food joint being the big feature of the month thing,
and you had to walk in. Your friends had to tell you. Your friends had to tell you and say this movie sucked. Yeah. And so someone had to go see it.
Here with the ad for this in the back cover. This was all over the place.
Well, I tried to compare it. Compare it to now.
It's like got Dennis Hoffman in it. Like it's got
Hopper. Yeah, Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper. Yeah.
And John Leguizamo again. He was hot in that time. John Leguizamo was hot right then. The Pest and Spawn a little later, but like he was hot in the 90s. John Leguizamo was.
You wonder like what the hell? Like what did Dennis Hopper think doing this?
Well, I think some people didn't know. Like there was like a thought process behind like you're going to attach your name to a superhero movie or a Super Mario Brothers movie. I'm going to say superhero. I'm going to say superhero probably a couple times because it's Super Mario Brothers. But
right, well, and it feels sort of superhero-ish.
It did. I mean, honestly, but I tried to relate two things. One is what video game now would you relate that if they did it this way, how bad it would bomb? And I thought to myself, Minecraft. They did a good job with the Minecraft movie with Jack Black, but so don't. And this is not me shitting on that because that's a really good movie, honestly, for an adaptation of a video game. Is if they took Minecraft and did this with it, like the beginning part, you heard the song, you heard the and then they went dark and adult themed. It's like there are adults who play Minecraft, but there's a lot of younger people who play Minecraft,
right?
And so it's like, why
Minecraft
would you?
Is very much in the vein of the Mario, like. stuff. The like family friendly, the whole
Yeah,
vibe. The
adults
like
play it, but it's mainly for kids. And so my whole thought was like, if they made Minecraft, this new Minecraft movie with Jack Black, dark like this, and it would have bombed. It would have been horrible, and so on and so on. But it's also one thing I will say about just take the whole. This is a conversation about the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993, but like the whole idea of this adaptation of video games into movies, and it's not really been done successfully most of the time. It's up until I didn't like the Sonic movies. Like I'm not a fan of them, but I understand why people do like them. It's that out of Fish Out of Water, taking that one's more taking Sonic to Earth and doing it,
we're
whereas
not going as
to the
much into
place.
Sonic's world. Yeah.
Minecraft was obviously, like I mentioned already, and then obviously the newer Super
Minecraft
Mario Brothers
was actually
movies.
very fun.
The
Yeah, and
newer
the new
Super
Super Mario.
Mario Brothers
Although
movies.
I feel like it's a little hard on that side with the Super Mario Brothers being animated because I feel like the video game side lends to animation. Like you should go hand in hand. So although still having a plot and a point is the other catch. But I feel like going to live action in video game world becomes very interesting, especially doing these family friendly things because some of this stuff just doesn't look right.
Well, I never
Um,
understood why they didn't go like so. Say they make a Red Dead Redemption movie, okay? Take the story from Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2, and then just make it a movie with a couple of small changes. It would kill it. Just take the
most of the
story and the
stuff seems
plot.
to like want to reinvent the wheel
It's
here, and
ridiculous. If
it's
they made a
never.
San Andreas Grand Theft Auto movie, they'd make it where he didn't steal cars or some sort of weird thing. And I'm like, why do you have to take and make it different? Most of us just play the game. I would be so interested to see a small variation of what the game was. Like, take the story from it's obviously harder in a little bit of the open world, like Fortnite. Obviously, you couldn't easily do that. And there's some of the ones where you're like, you can't really take it
Ones that don't
simply.
necessarily have plots.
Yeah, but like I could see like, and there's other ones where it's like a generic thing, like Modern Warfare. If they did like a Call of Duty movie, it'd have to just be about
Tom Clancy
war.
stuff. Yeah.
Some of that stuff. But like, there's our movies. Like, I don't understand why you'd take a Minecraft movie and make it so they didn't build things or something like that. Like, why would they do that? And so this is kind of that sense of like they took, they didn't have a lot to base it on because like obviously the first Super Mario Brothers games, it's not like there's like a humongous plot. You save the princess in the Mushroom Kingdom, and there's these things. But like sucking the humans, I say sucking the humans into the Mario Mushroom Kingdom. What they did in the animated film, which was taking the two plumbers and putting them into the Mushroom Kingdom, is what they did in this movie. It's just the first 22 minutes, Paul, wasn't that bad. The first 22 minutes was like these two plumbers. There was like in relation to the adaptation part of it, I should say, is that there's these two plumbers. They're down in their luck. They're looking for the next thing. He falls for a girl, and so he goes and she shows him why they're stopping their digging. And the plumber, again, it seemed almost cartoonish that these guys are like full dressed in the suit of the person who they work for, and they're breaking something to flood the thing, and they're running off. Like I wanted to hear, I wanted to hear like a noise of them running away. But all of that, and then having to come save the day and getting pushed into the Mushroom Kingdom. All of that was like, okay, cool. This movie's gonna be good. Like up until that point, you can
Then
go,
it gets real.
you're like,
weird.
cool. And then you get down there, you're like, this is someone who's on drugs who decided that they wanted to make like, come on,
Yeah,
like
I
this
feel
is
like
ridiculous.
it was like the first part was written by a different person, and the next person dropped acid and came up with this. Like in the design of it all too.
What
The
if we
design
did
is
this?
so bizarre and so like not Mario.
No, there's no
Like what
color.
the hell is going on?
At least in the
You
like
have
8-bit Mario had like pops of color in it. Like you had the
all
blue
of these
background, the green,
random
and like
people. It's all dark and grungy and noirish and like looks like a Frank Miller movie or something. Like and like the weird like they're still all humans except the ones that
they
aren't.
derived from dinosaurs, not from monkeys, though. Come on.
Right. But they're all humans, but then some of them aren't. But then the cars and the weird like running off of like generators, and they look like the old like toy tin cars, sort of that have like the power system there. They have to that stay attached to stuff, and like just chaos everywhere. It's not even like it makes no sense in the acting of all of the characters. All these background characters are so bizarre. Like it was like they said, all right, what we want you all to do it's just being a rave, and we're just gonna film around it.
It was like that stuff where it's like it's in the future, but not really.
What is going on?
Like I don't know. I love my Star Wars, but it's always like the Star Wars is like futuristic, but still in the past somehow. Like it's like one of those things where like they're all still wearing stuff we used to wear before we got like sewing machines, and now we have like like it's this weird like wants to look futuristic, but really looks really poor and
didn't have
very,
the budget for it.
Yeah, it's exactly.
It was like they used a bunch of excess stuff from the Mad Max movies, and like I don't understand. And then like they still have cops, but the cops are all dirty and all work for Koopa. But then why are they cops? Like what? Where are all the traditional Mario characters involved in this movie?
Well, there is
There's like none of the traditional Marvel villains.
No, not a traditional
Marvel villains, Mario villains. Besides, you get like you get other characters. You get Yoshi, and we randomly go with Daisy with no mention of Peach. Besides, maybe it's her mom. Maybe
potentially. Well, her dad's a weird mushroom amalgam, fizzy
slime horror looking thing.
I thought that was kind of interesting. And then she's like, "Guys, I want you to meet my father."
Meet my dad.
Like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Like she doesn't step back from this of being like, "Oh God," she's not horrified by everything. She's like, "Oh, Daddy."
I also love these kind of movies where they get sucked into this weird
cloth, like the fungus is like this cloth everywhere.
Well, I mean, it was a more literal definition of what a mushroom is instead of what you expect to see in a Super Mario Brothers movie, which is like the traditional looking mushroom.
Old school character.
Yeah, they have like this literal thing that a mushroom can be this like slimy, like ever-reaching, flat-looking thing, and it's fungus, like that's not
growing on everything.
That's not what we want as a Mario
in the fridge or whatever the mildew in the shower.
Like try to picture that in 8-bit. It's like just a line of tan dots. That's the but no, and also I love these movies where they're like they get sucked into an alternate dimension and they're just cool with it. Like how do people not go into some sort of catatonic
along in the next like 2 minutes of just being like, well, all right.
You go away on vacation, you come back and your house is burnt and people are in catatonic state for like years. You go to an alternate dimension and you immediately are like, okay, how are we going to get out of this? Like,
you're not just in the fetal position.
No, like I would be like hiding in a corner. Like we would be stuck there. There's no way in hell that if I get sucked into an alternate dimension, I'm making it back. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, they're eating lizards like hot dogs. And
no.
There's just weird people everywhere and the old woman robbing them and like what? And then the old woman robbing him and then getting like thrown by the giant like bouncer woman. Just picks her up and like heaves her,
and then he falls. Then they fall for each. It's just a whole thing.
God.
So there is characters
Mario
in this movie. So you have Mario and Luigi Mario. How about that, Paul? That their last names are Mario. You know what's funny about it is after I watched this again, I was like, I have to go look this up. Is this true? It is not. It was made for this movie. Their name is not Mario.
It's funny because I read that this was loosely based, and I'm like, it is friggin' loose. Like,
but why didn't they just come up with a name?
Bowser, who never looks like Bowser.
No, but why didn't they just come up with a name? Why isn't Mario some sort of Italian name? Why didn't they just come up with that name? Like, why do they have to be? And the fact that Luigi's not his
Prince. What's your
Luigi's
name?
not
Mario.
really his brother.
What's your last name? I'm just Mario. Like that would have even just.
Well, you'd have to make it realistic.
Name? Super.
Yeah, that would have been better. I would have been way happier with that. But like, yeah, to me it was like, oh my gosh, they're doing this and there was this whole bit on it, like who's on second, like Mario, but who's Mario, Luigi, and they're not actually brothers. They're he was adopted. Is that like part of lore or like
something?
It was found like I don't know. Maybe
He's
they were setting up a sequel.
My mother,
Maybe they were setting up a sequel, Paul.
Oh my God! Well, it ends with that. It definitely ends with the plan of a sequel, and I just laughed at the ending of like, boy, you guys really should have seen where this was going. That you're not getting a sequel.
Well, I can also picture it's a husband and wife directing team. Rocky, Morton, and Annabel Jankel. They're married, and so I could picture them being like, if we get this with the writers and get it together, and we make it so there has to be it's an open ending in a sense that there's a sequel. And then see what happens from there, and see where we go from there, and then they're definitely not making it.
Yeah, they were counting on like this was their retirement. This is going to be their big thing.
They basically didn't do anything after this, but I think there's a little bit, like I said, the whole. So in a 2011 interview, with The Guardian, Bob Hoskins described the film's production as a fucking nightmare. The whole experience was a nightmare. Can you imagine hearing someone do this interview after a movie was based around a children's, like if like after they made the Super Mario Brothers movie, the animated one. They're like, it was a fucking nightmare. It was a husband and wife team directing whose arrogance had been mistaken for talent. After so many weeks, their own agent told them to get the fuck off the set. It was a fucking nightmare. Fucking idiots. That was the interview in 2011 that Bob Hoskins gave The Guardian about how like this husband and wife. And I'm like, to me, honestly, I don't think I could ever direct a movie with my wife. We have two different creative minds that would be good, but like they would not mesh. They would bounce off of each other at certain times. And so I can imagine that being part of it is that they own internally. They were both like kids.
Maybe that's why this movie made so little sense.
Yeah.
Maybe the two of them had these like different opinion or perspective of what this was going to be. Did you see Harry Potter's aunt in it? I recognized her and I couldn't figure out why I recognized her. And I looked her up and I was like, I don't know any of this stuff that she's been in. And then towards the end of her credits is like, says like the character for Harry Potter. I was like, oh, that's who that is. Like, I knew it. I knew her. The casting, the background actors, which there are a lot of. There are a lot of excess background actors that are all poorly done.
So it's Harry Potter's the aunt is the person she knows she's known mostly for is that actually that she got an extra role. It's kind of funny. A lot of these people went in and do other things, which is crazy that they didn't get exiled from Hollywood for making this movie. But to be honest with you, it's like John Leguizamo. No, it was Bob Hoskins again. Dennis Hopper said my 6-year-old son at the time, now 18, said, "Dad, I think you're probably a good actor, but why did you do this? Terrible King Koopa guy." And it says, "Well, Henry, I did it so you can have shoes." And his kid said, "Dad, I don't need shoes that badly." I was like, "Yep, that's." But all of them, I think it was a paycheck.
You gotta love kids in their honesty. Like,
who in their mind doesn't say yes to a Super Mario Brothers movie? After
right.
Like in this sense, like.
And at the time, this was the first video game movie. So they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna make like history with this. We're gonna be the first video game movie." You probably at least knew that Mario was some sort of major name. So, you got to figure there was like generally conceived idea this was going to be something, which it is something.
Well, $48 million budget. I'm guessing that
right?
There was good salaries. I don't
what
think
the hell did they spend all that on?
All that futuristic
cars.
The
they
mushroom.
Blew up 1 billion cars.
The mushroom probably really expensive. That like retractable like ball sack looking thing that came out of the dad.
What the hell was that thing doing?
I don't know. But I mentioned the characters. They are characters that they kind of shoehorned in there. Like there's Toad, but it's not like it's just a guy playing the guitar on the street.
Yeah, that was weird. That when I caught that just briefly that he's like says his name's Toad when he's
we need to make sure the Toad's
whatever.
in this movie, but not really like a Toad talking mushroom thing. It's like
if he's Toad and he's supposed to be a mushroom, then he should have be devolved to a mushroom. Instead, he becomes a Koopa.
Guitar playing.
Which I also don't understand why some of them have long necks and like look like lizards, while other ones have weird dinosaur shrunken skull heads.
So here they have the technology. They have the technology in this alternate universe to make people into dinosaur things, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna use their real names because they're really not. That's not what they are in the content in the video game. These thingy things. These like they got like nice suits on, and like tiny dinosaur heads.
This is literally the figure I remember seeing is the Koopa, the Goomba. The Goomba with the tiny shrunken head. And that was the figure that I saw and said, by the way, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Bob Tackett right there.
That's the character I saw that I said, nope, I'm not watching this. I'm like, what the hell is that?
It's they wear like a suit with spikes on their shoulders and they've got this like tiny lizard head.
Huge.
But they have the ability to transform people into this. Like they finally struck like technology advancements to the point where they can make people dumb. But they also can make people smart.
Right.
And so why would you have your two dumb henchmen?
Yeah, Iggy and the other one, who were supposed to be Bowser's kids, but they're not in this.
they're two dumb
They're
henchmen, but you could
cousins.
make them smart, but you didn't do that a long time
Yeah,
ago.
you're not like a lot. Well, maybe they were easier to control that way.
Well, if you made them just a slightly bit smarter, could you do it like, is there a level or is there all the way or
Right.
none?
Because
Like,
they were pretty stupid. Like
because
they
I
were
thought to
very
myself,
stupid.
they put them in there and they're like, oh, they're like talking like
Well, there was one
stupid.
that was funny is them trying to abduct the girls trying to find
Yeah,
Daisy.
yes. And they've
And
done
they
it
were
so many
like,
times.
yeah, that's her right there. That's her. 2 legs, 2 arms, a head. That's her. I'm like, boy, they have very little to go by. Like, yeah, these two are definitely morons.
And they tried to
Like,
make him
that was
sound
fun.
smart. Like their way
Right.
they made him sound smart was not even like to me. It was like just sounded stupid. Like I don't know. Like that's what you like when they came like rolling off of the little assembly
Go off the
line
cart
thing.
there, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like saying E equals MC squared. It's like what are you doing? Like that doesn't sound smart to me. Like how can we make them sound smart really quickly? It's make them say highly educated words.
And that is definitely where this should have been a children's movie. This is where that lent into the child side of it of being just like sort of stupid and goofy and whatever. But then there's tons of scenes that are not that way. Like this was a classic 90s confusion, I feel like, of like, are we making a children's movie or not a children's movie?
And why would you make this an adult movie? I just don't understand it.
Yeah,
Children's movies
yeah,
in
and I
the
don't know why you'd
90s.
be trying to make this noir aimed to adult movie based off of what you had in the first place with the Mario characters. And even if you are making an adult movie, it's stupid. It was terrible.
We'll make an
Like
adult version that
if
actually
the
has the
adult
characters from
is
the game. Like,
if the adult's the target, what the hell were you doing? Because most of the chaos and weirdness you can lend to being a child's movie. Like, okay, fine. But so much of this other stuff was not, and you can feel that they're trying to pull the adults in. And yet it's a terrible movie, poorly written, weird plot, weird acting. Just so you're not getting the adult side of it. You just managed to alienate both of your audiences.
so there's two redeeming qualities of this movie. The song at the beginning, the very beginning, they played the theme song to Mario, which
when they went
gets you
through
in.
the portal, I really wanted to
Yeah,
get the pipe sound.
yeah, oh, yeah, that would have been
And
great too.
nothing. I was like, come on, that's a perfect opportunity.
They got the rights from Nintendo for the song, but that's it.
And that's it. They're like, we're not going to spend any more money
all
on
the other
rest of this.
sounds, all the other sounds were way extra money. So like, nah, forget that. That the first 22 minutes, I looked at the time clocks, timestamp on there. Okay, I understand it. It wasn't amazing, but if you're talking about straight video game adaptation, this is a plot device and avenue
The beginning of it's much
to
better
get to
than
where
the
you need
rest
to
of
be.
it.
How are you going to get to the Mushroom Kingdom with these two plumbers? That's how you do it. Great, and they
I
kind
don't
of
mind
honestly.
the two morons running around on.
I would love to talk to people from the people who wrote the new movie, not the one that's in the theaters now, but the one that came out a couple years ago. Is because that's basically the same idea. It's basically they're hard on their luck plumbers who get sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom underneath New York City. Like that's almost identical in the movies. They're both the same. If you look at them side by side, the opening how they get to the Mushroom Kingdom is nearly the same in a sense. Like there's a couple different changes and things like that. So that those are two to redeem it. And the bombs. Those are the only ones because it actually looked like a little bomb with feet on it, and it was like a wind-up toy. Like those are the only thing redeeming.
Think Reebok paid for them to be wearing?
There's a couple things like that in this movie. There's a couple.
My only other thing with the bomb that I had the problem with was like, my God, that scene went on forever. That thing.
Yeah, but the idea behind it, I'm like, okay, that's funny.
And it's upside down.
It's
like,
funny. It's like, okay, that's what you expect from this, and it looked like them from the video game.
The bullet bill he pulls the bullet bill out from behind him, and they stick it in the shoe, which also doesn't make any sense to the character of Bullet Bill. But I did at least like that. Put it in the weird shoe jumping.
And Yoshi is a dinosaur, so like.
Okay. Yoshi looks like we had excess parts from Jurassic Park we used.
But my point would be is that at least it was a dinosaur. It wasn't it wasn't a friendly dinosaur.
He's not the friendly cute dinosaur. He's like a velociraptor, and she's over there like I get like he's cooing and she's like going after him, but he has terrifying teeth that looks like he's going to eat you.
But at least it was a dinosaur.
And honestly, so the female character here, the Bowser's mistress, whatever the hell she is, which I don't understand her character at all.
She is Fiona Shaw. Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah, I don't know.
I forget.
I don't think Nicole Bowser. I mean, he's always trying to get Peach. I don't know who the hell this woman is.
Well, she had to add the adultness to it. She needed someone who was jealous of the fact that he's trying to get Peach.
Get Peach. Or well, get Daisy. So Yeah. So I thought you had the perfect opportunity. The tongue comes out from Yoshi, it wraps around her, pulls it back, and you see her like, oh, Daisy, like, oh, and she runs. They could have looked back and had the animated Yoshi where he's chewing stuff, and just have him like and just be like, oh, that's the end of her. Like that'd have been funny and sort of like okay. Instead, like she stabs Yoshi
Yes.
and like runs off, and there's Yoshi like staggering around with a like knife in him. I'm like, what the hell? What just happened? When I
Her
saw the
name's
tongue
Lena.
come out and come back, what's her name?
Lena. No,
No idea what
no
it is.
connection.
No
It's on
connection.
IMDb. If you click on the name, it tells you what other and
Yeah,
up to,
yeah.
they do
There's just
video
nothing
games on there
there.
too. There's nothing else that she's been
Nothing.
in.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
nothing.
It's a character
So
made up
that
for
would
this
have been the
thing.
perfect opportunity, I felt like, to get a little funny Mario brother humor in there. Just you would have been set, and then just not see Yoshi again. Really, not have her done or finished, and instead, like, no, no, she stabs Yoshi and she's off. I was like, man, you had one more chance to make some sort of redeeming quality for this movie, and you flopped again.
You flopped again. It's the epitome of like actor or directors and writers saying taking the 100% chance at if we do it this way, we could be freaking like people would love us and we get all the movies in the world. Like if we take it and we make it more post-apocalyptic, like weird dimension,
I mean,
where
looking back in '93, right? We're
a
talking the
split,
era
yes.
of Waterworld and Demolition Man, and
But make this movie, you could be gold in Hollywood, but you also could be ostracized from Hollywood. And that's the option. They went both ways. But if you think about basis, like forget the way that how bad the story was written and stuff like that. They did a good job with the first 22 minutes, like I mentioned. Not good job, but like a way to set it up.
it
And
was
the
entertaining. The
explanation of
beginning of it was
why they
entertaining.
were where they were, explanation of why the alternate universe or dimension, whatever you want to call it, was where it was. The meteor hit and we split into two different dimensions. One we derived from mammals or from primates. One they derived from dinosaurs. One got it pretty good, and the other one got it pretty bad. And that they're trying to merge these things together because they want to take it over. What they didn't really kind of explain in any sort of fashion, I don't remember, is how this other dimension knew this. Like,
Yeah,
how does the
we
Mushroom
don't
Kingdom
know
know
this
about
dimension
us, but they
exists
don't know
as
about
humans, so
us?
why do they know about us? Yeah.
Yes, it's like the aliens know about us. There's
Well, I
all
guess
kinds of
at the
aliens out there that know
beginning,
about us, but we don't know about the aliens. It's weird
the mother, which could have been Peach,
in a
came to our
sense,
universe
yeah.
to hide Daisy. So I guess that's your explanation.
But how did she figure out
And
about the universe, though? Like, how
yeah,
did
I
she
don't know.
figure that out?
Yeah, we
Maybe
don't
the
know.
next movie was
Yeah.
going to be a prequel, Paul.
Well, why is the meteor itself apparently just in their universe? It's not in ours. Like if they dug the hole and found this meteor and half of it was in our dimension and the other half was in theirs to make this like rift, that plot would have made more sense. But we also didn't get that. Like we didn't put that much thought into this because we're making a kids movie. It doesn't have to have that much thought. Then we didn't make a kids movie. We made a noir, bizarre,
So
where
let's rewrite this
techno
movie.
weird ass movie.
Let's rewrite this movie in the sense that if you were to take this movie and say there's these two different dimensions in Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, like Mario and Luigi get sucked into this other dimension, and there's this evil leader. The whole process is just trying to get back to your own dimension. Would that have been fine? Did we need them to have to try to take over our dimension? Is it literally just needing to
No.
escape? Like I would think that just the literal point of trying to get back to your own dimension is enough of a plot of a movie
Yeah, you could have
that
been done
like
there.
you
Well,
didn't
and
need to
then that
like
point, Bowser could be like really confused about the fact that there's another dimension and that they might have it better than him, or that he rules this, so he must rule that. Instead of this, like, oh, their world's better, and I'm going to turn them all into monkeys and whatever the hell that was.
but like I just don't understand like why go so no like so dark and so DC movie. No, but like why go that far? I guess I mean what's cheaper you think? It's probably cheaper to make something that dark and dirty and dingy because you don't need to polish everything. Bright colors and things like that. Would it look cheesier with John Leguizamo and Bob
I
Hoskins in
appreciated the one part where they got the uniforms there at the end, that were, which I don't remember how or why they suddenly had a uniform change to that. I thought another
we're gonna make this movie game accurate.
they're
Here we
randomly at this like nightclub there trying to find the stone, and Luigi's wearing a red suit and Mario's wearing a yellow suit. And I was like, this would have been another opportunity for him to be wearing a weird green suit and Mario to be wearing his red suit, and we could have at least had
a little tip of the hat, to the
yeah. Like I mean, all these little things that would have given a little bit more sentimental value to the Mario world that we just completely didn't do.
Well, you just made me think of something.
Nah.
You just made me think of something. Is that it almost seems like if it was made today, obviously it would have been a little different back there because they didn't have any Wikipedia stuff, like the different Mario wiki and all that stuff out there.
Mario's become huge now, like cult.
The director and writing team, all of them. So Parker Bennett, Trey Runté, and Ed Solomon, which I mentioned to you the other day in the comic book shop, is that Ed Solomon wrote Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which is really funny. So it's a possibility that Ed Solomon, when they don't put this online, it is easy to find, is Ed Solomon could have come in to help like script edits, and he gets a screenwriting credit, even though he didn't actually write the full actual screenplay. So let's give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt that he probably came in to polish the script a little bit and not actually like it looks like they made it today and had access to Wiki, that they would have just been like, okay, what are the characters' names from the video game? You know, what are they, and they just made a movie and then decided and used that. Like, okay, they're plumbers.
No major like fulfillment as to what any of these characters are. Just okay.
That's how it is. Like, you know what it is. Because to be honest with you, in Mario, like you have like Koopa, you know, Koopa's like they're dinosaurs. Like there are dinosaurs in the thing, but like all the other characters are not.
I guess I always thought they were more like turtles too.
Yeah, like that's what. They are. They actually are. I actually looked that up. It was actually they are turtle based. There are. I looked it up on the
yeah, because you have the shell, but then Bowser still goes in the shell, and all of his kids, Iggy and Ziggy and the rest of them.
Yeah, now I remember.
Still kind of have the shell.
I remember looking that up. The actual plot. Where did it go? There's a plot. Following the events of Mario Brothers, the game set in the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario and Luigi have arrived through a clay pipe in New York City. In the Mushroom Kingdom, a tribe of turtle-like Koopa Troopas invade the kingdom and use magic of their King Bowser to turn the mushroom people into inanimate objects such as bricks, stones, and horse hair plants. So take that line alone, Paul, and make a movie off of it. Like, why do you have to do like that? You still could have made it adult. You still could have made it post-apocalyptic, but just take that line and say that's what happens. Like, I don't understand.
I also don't understand who reads the plot and go, yeah, we're going to make post-apocalyptic off this.
Drugs, Paul. Lots of drugs.
Mario.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to slander these people's names, but drugs, Paul. Well, Bob Hoskins.
It'd at least be an explanation.
Bob Hoskins said he got drunk.
Like, well, we were really trying to do something great here. Then, like, you really should just be like, yeah, we were on some stuff.
The art of filmmaking, Paul. The art of filmmaking. Bob Hoskins said he was drunk for most of the movie because it's the only way he could get some of the scenes done because they were so bad that he just needed to be a little bit intoxicated. So, I mean, my only thought is like I like to see the ops, benefit of the doubt, the you know, other side of things is that in order to do it for the budget they had to do it this way. But that does not forgive.
Yes. I don't know. That's a pretty solid budget for the 90s.
But that does not forgive the plot of the movie. Like, to my whole point is like, okay, I understand. Like, if you just try to pick the movie apart and say, why did they go post-apocalyptic, weird dimension?
I also think it's funny. The CGI is bad, which you can say, hey, it's 1993. Give them some slack. But the practical effects are also bad. They're both bad. We did not do either of these things well.
I bet they spent millions of dollars on that scrotum thing coming out of the ceiling. Do you know what I mean, though? Like, let's make it move. Like, no one needed to make it move. They had steam coming out of it.
The goop dripping off of this thing.
It literally wasn't until
I watched it. And then he just all of a sudden comes back. The end of it. And he's coughing up, like, mushroom dust.
It's one of those. Is that the reason why? And I'm pretty sure I've heard a rumor online or something online. The reason why it took so long to make another Super Mario Brothers movie was that this like ruined it
so bad,
and no one wanted to try to touch it.
Here's an interesting question. All right, so this is the first video game movie. Is this why so many of the video game movies suck? Because this is was this like the path they got sent down? Because like you get like Street Fighter, which has some nostalgia vibes to it, but like is a terrible movie. And the Mortal Kombat movies are not good.
Well, Double Dragon
Like-
was next, technically.
Oh god, Double Dragon. Yeah.
Double Dragon, then Street Fighter, then Mortal Kombat. And to be honest, with you, Mortal Kombat wasn't great. It wasn't great at all, but it was far better than this.
Yeah,
That's more of a that's
well,
more
Mortal Kombat's a
nostalgia
lot
for
easier
me.
plot too to go
Yes.
off of that. Like Mortal Kombat's plot's pretty freaking basic, and
We gotta
pretty
do that
easy
one
to just
now.
replicate it.
We got to do that one now because that movie
Did
was.
they ever make a killer? What the hell is that move? That game? Killer. I want to say Killer Instincts, but is that the game? That was very Mortal Kombat
It
like.
was right after that. It was a lot of live actions. Like the people are human, or like they're like it's video game adaptations of live action things. Like they're human beings, like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tomb Raider, all those movies.
I mean,
were the
Mortal
ones that
Kombat has some weird creatures.
the
in it,
next
but overall,
the next
they're more
video
or less
game adaptations were all that Resident Evil, like all the ones that were like Alone in the Dark, like a lot of the ones Doom, where there's like less creatures. I guess Doom has
still,
creatures. And
still
stuff like that.
sucky. Like
Yeah,
they're
oh
all
yeah,
bad.
awful.
But yeah, I don't know where you get like
Max
Yes,
Payne,
they're-
maybe. I'm trying to
What
think
is
of like what the first like actually like fairly good one. Oh, here you go. This one actually has the Rotten Tomatoes score on it. Super Mario Bros. On Rotten Tomatoes, by the way, is 29% critic. Was it's now 27% critic. For some reason, it went down. I don't know how that's the case.
well, I
Well, I don't know how like people are still reviewing it. 4.2
I mean,
on
probably
IMDb.
people are going to stumble upon it now after watching the new ones, right?
No, but that's critic. Critics wouldn't be doing it nowadays. Though.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Double Dragon was
we're
12.
finding more ratings for it from like, oh wow, nope. We already had Siskel and Ebert and stuff, but now we're getting some random people on the side that also.
Well, maybe it's
said
like stuff like us. Like we're not part of that, but maybe there are people who are like, oh, it's the 30th anniversary was just not that long ago. It was 3 years ago. So maybe someone did it for the 30th anniversary.
Went back and did it.
But 12% for Double Dragon, 11% for Street Fighter. So Mortal Kombat got 47%. Okay, for a video game adaptation, made $125 million. Okay, that's
I saw
successful.
Mortal Kombat in theater. I went
That's
to
probably the
theaters.
most successful video game adaptation up to that time. So, but then like most of them are 4%, 10%, 20, 36, 24, 3%, 18%. Alone in the Dark got a 1%. Alone in the Dark.
Alone in the Dark. I've never even heard of that.
Doom got 18%. Silent Hill was 32%.
I forgot Silent Hill.
Max Payne. So to me, I liked Max Payne. It's one of those first style of games I played like that, and like the movie wasn't that bad. It was 3% for Street Fighter, another Street Fighter. The Tekken.
I think Max Payne came out the same time as The Punisher came out, and it was very confusing.
Yeah,
as to
it's
which
confusing
one
on
was
which. Yeah,
which.
made
It looked
$85 million.
exactly the same.
$35 million
Really?
budget made $85 million. So it was a successful
Wow.
financially movie.
Pretty good.
The Tekken adaptation got a 0%.
I didn't even know there was a Tekken.
Prince of Persia, 30%, 37%. So they're going through here. Need for Speed, 23%, which is also another one where like it feels like it's fairly easy to make a adaptation of that movie.
It's just Fast and
car
Furious.
racing. Yeah. Which is probably why they did it. But it was made for $66 million. They made $203 million. Jesus. Okay, so I guess the first like box office financial success, a huge success would have been Warcraft. It was made for $160 million and made almost $500 million. But it's still only a 29% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Never seen
Assassin's
that
Creed 19%. Okay, so Tomb Raider, the newer one, with what's her face?
That was a pretty good movie. Yeah, not the Angelina Jolie one, but the
Alicia Vidkinder.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, made for $106 million, made $274. It has a 52% Rotten Tomatoes score. Rampage with The Rock. How about this one? So I'll tell you right now, the first super successful, amazing, wonderful, I would give it a pretty high score video game adaptation of in time is the Detective Pokemon movie.
Yeah, if that counts as a video game one, which
It
I
is
mean,
a video
it
game
does.
adaptation.
Yeah,
Yes,
Detective Pikachu is fantastic.
68% Rotten Tomatoes score, made $500 million. And then it was Sonic the Hedgehog, which again I don't like as much, but I can understand why some people do.
Fine.
I don't understand how the new Mortal Kombat movies got such a high 55%. That movie sucked. And then going further than that, I mean, people didn't like Uncharted was one that people kind of liked, and then the original
Have
Five
I
Nights.
seen Uncharted? I think I watched that.
It's Tom Holland and
yeah, I
Mark
think I watched it
Wahlberg.
because it was Tom Holland in it, and like it was because he has that scene where he's jumping from, he's on the plane and he's jumping from the packages or whatever they are, the crates. Yeah, that was okay.
Are these
It
live
wasn't
action?
amazing.
List of video films based on video games. These are all live action ones, by the way. I'm not talking about.
They are live action. Okay.
Yeah,
Some
because
I've never heard of. Like I didn't know they made a Tekken movie. They made a Tekken live action movie.
I guess so. Must have been like direct to DVD or something like that. But Five Nights at
Oh
Freddy.
yeah, that's possible too.
The highest Rotten Tomatoes critic score of all live action video game adaptations is actually Sonic the Hedgehog 3 with 86%
I
Rotten
started
Tomatoes
watching
score.
that the other day. The little one at daycare put it on, the third one. I've seen the first one. I never saw the second one, so I'm a little confused watching the third one. But it was like entertaining. It wasn't, once again, it was not very like good, but it was entertaining.
The highest grossing or highest box office success for a live action video game adaptation with $43 million short of $1 billion was Minecraft.
Minecraft was a fun movie. And I don't really play Minecraft, nor do I have that much interest in Minecraft. But the movie was very, very fun. I enjoyed the movie.
So you talk about the first. So Mario Brothers was the first live action adaptation of a video game. It was actually the first adaptation. Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within was the first animated video game adaptation. That wasn't until 2001, which is pretty crazy to think about. It was made for $137 million and made a box office success of $85 million. Lost 50 something million dollars. Yeah, and then so like a lot of the Ratchet and Clank movie came out. The Angry Birds movie made a crap ton of money. But then you have the Super Mario Brothers movie.
I watched some of that. I think Emma went through an Angry Birds phase during that.
I mean, I played Angry Birds for a little bit.
I don't know that I ever watched all of it.
The movie,
I can't remember. I might have finished that movie.
So the next. It was 30 years later that the Super Mario Brothers animated movie came out on big screen. 30 years later. It was 2023.
What about the Tetris movie that's about the making of Tetris? Does that count?
I don't know.
Or does that not count?
Actually. It was pretty good. I like that.
I mean, it looked interesting. I haven't seen it, but it looked interesting. But I guess that doesn't really count because that's about the making of the video game, not so much.
Yeah. Of the actual
thing. We're not in
but,
Tetris world. We're just blocks falling, which might have been more interesting than this.
Budget, let's look at this. $48 million. Oops, sorry. $48 million in 1993 to
versus now.
Today.
Oh
God.
Today.
It's
gotta be what, 100? Close to 100 million?
Look at this. Yeah, I would think so too. 100 million dollars. Oh, is that right? I wrote 48,000, not 408,000. I want 48 million. There you go. Calculate. $109 million, $110 million. Okay. Do you know the budget for the 2023 animated Super Mario Bros. Movie?
I'm gonna say 52 million.
No, $100 million. But still, $10 million less technically.
I mean, I'm trying to figure. So animations come along so much that it's it's a lot easier. I would think.
Cheaper.
You have quite the cast in that movie.
Do you know what it made in the box office?
I'm gonna say it made 450 million.
Oh, come on, Paul. Get better than that. $1.36 billion.
Yeah. I saw it in theater. I went to the theaters and saw it.
So think about that. Like that's the highest grossing video game adaptation movie of all time by far, by like $300 million far. And the new one is set to surpass that, really, I think, because it's already
I'm surprised that it beat out Detective Pikachu.
It released April 1st in the United States, which was 2 weeks ago, right? And as of recording this episode, it has made $629 million in 2 weeks. And it was for a budget of $110 million. Super successful. So do it right and do it animated. So there's certain things. I understand why this would be animated. Yes, you have to make the plumbers animated, but the rest of the world seems animated, in my opinion. Like Mario isn't animated. Like the when you're playing the video games or you're watching the video games, you're seeing animated characters in a sense in my mind. When you play like Lara Croft and Tomb Raider, or you play Resident Evil, things like that, you see
they're supposed to be
you see real life humans as animation characters on screen. So like those movies lend itself to live action. These movies don't, unless you're doing Sonic. So the way that Sonic was adapted, the way they did Minecraft adapted, which is like having human or real life live action and animation mixed together in that sense. Either sucking that character to our world or the opposite.
Into the other world that's now an animated world.
Yes, but they got it right, and I don't think it's just the actors. I don't think it's just the whatever. It's the mixture of the story, the animation, the timing, because obviously Mario's grown over the last 30 years as well. I don't know. Do you think it was on purpose that was 30 years later? Like almost to the date, 30 years later? Yeah, it was like the 30th anniversary. We're like, here,
That'd
we're
be
gonna
funny to
redeem
find out.
ourselves here. Hold on a second. Let us
Yeah.
redeem ourselves here.
Let's get the Mario name back in the world of movies after this abomination.
Bomb. So I will say it's 4.2 on IMDb, 30% on Rotten Tomatoes for audience score. This is a half star because we don't do 0 stars. I'm sorry. There is like, again, I mentioned the first 20 minutes is like, okay, you set up the story well enough. Acting still sucked in the entire movie.
Yeah, the acting
special effects are awful, horrible practical effects.
So many weird scenes that just like don't.
The plot
why
loses
did you
itself.
even have him do this?
Yes.
Dennis
It's
Hopper holding one of the ones is holding his lapels and marching, and then all of the Goombas behind him marching the same way, and I'm just like, why is it like this?
So I gave it a half star. I can't.
So half star.
Because of like this is one of the worst movies we've watched in this thing. We've watched some bad movies, but this is bottom 3.
I'm gonna give this 1 star off of the fact, and this is kind of funny, is that it's so bad, but it also is so bad, like claimed for being really bad, that I would have been willing to continue watching it. Like, I watched the whole movie. I wouldn't have just been like, nope, I'm done. Like, there are movies we've watched that there's no way I would have finished if I didn't have to watch it for the podcast. I would have kept watching this, and because it's Mario, like, all right, so I'm gonna go 1 star off of basically the source material and the fact that everyone knows this movie sucks. I guess I don't know, does that help?
No, that works for me. And I'll tell you right now, I do half stars. It's my personal thing.
Because at that point in time, it was taking itself seriously.
On
now
the
it's
website,
like, we all know it sucks, so let's enjoy the fact that it sucks.
On the website, we do half star, 1 star. So if we were to add ours together, it'd be 0.75 stars, and that wouldn't work. But we're going to go up to a 1 star solely because without it, we wouldn't get this fantastic Bob Takic illustration on the front
Thank you,
of my
Bob
VHS.
Takic, for saving the Mario Brother movie by putting some sick art.
Like
even
this
the
is
logo
dope.
of this movie is bad. Like the like, why is it like platinum looking or metal?
Well,
It's so
it's
like
not hard
90s.
to see it here, obviously, because Bob covered it up on this VHS tape. But it says super in here. But honestly, when you're looking at it on anything small, it's not on a big poster, you can barely see the word super. So it looks like it just says the Mario Brothers movie, which in my mind, I would have been fine too. We should have just called it the Mario Bros. Movie. It would have been fine.
And then like the logo slams up there, bang, bang, like metal hitting. And all I could think of it was like, that's the way like RoboCop has it, which makes so much more sense. And that looks very RoboCop. Demolition Man looked like that. It's like they were trying to fit this movie into those categories of like hyper violent noir movies. And why the hell did we do this with Mario?
I love the marketing too. I don't know if you can see it, but this is Mario dressed in the traditional
the
colors.
Only time he looks like
right?
the Mario.
She's
suit.
being nice and like the petting of like Yoshi there. Like, okay,
yep.
well, and they're in the colors here too. It's like this is only for part of the movie, guys. Like this is the whole movie is not them in their colors.
It's like 5 minutes of it, if that. Yeah.
But let's put that here. There you go. So Bob
Then they're
Takic,
carrying guns.
you can find Bob
Mario
Takic on social
Luigi
media.
carrying guns.
Yes, exactly. That wouldn't happen nowadays. Well, maybe, but Bob Takic, you can find him online. I'm trying to promote here, Bob Takic here, Paul. Shut up.
Shut up. Yeah, Bob Takic.
Bob Takic, get him. He's on social media. It's TKACIK. Bob Takic. Find him online. I'll tag him in our that's description to the podcast because it's worth
right now looking on this wall across from me. I have 2 Bob Takic original pieces of the Shredder shredding on his skateboard, and then Raph on his skateboard.
See, great. And I also have back here, which you can't see, but I've got it with Pennywise on it. I've got Spawn, and I've got Jurassic Park. And I'm looking at I'm gonna see him again in the spring. I'm gonna try to get another one done. So we got to add to the collection here of these VHS tapes, redeeming some of them, and then just adding cool shit to some other ones.
It's actually pretty fun to have Bob do special VHS variants to movies that sucked.
Yes, like that's great. I should find other
much
ones.
Better than the movie. And honestly, it
redeem
makes
the
me
movie.
kind of like the Goomba a little more.
Yeah, see. Well, now what I want is a Bob Takic adaptation of the film in comic book form with Bob drawing it. Can he do that just for us, like not sell it?
Not sell it, just like a weird Mario.
Just one page is fine. Okay, like a single page.
Just as if the comic existed. as if this was the original artwork from the printed book.
Or a cover. We can just do a cover for it, like a cool, like, is there a blank cover we can have him do it as an adaptation to it? But yeah, Paul Eaton's of Galactic Comics and Collectibles at galacticcomicsandcollectibles.com. $4.99 Hammond Street now. Sweet. What's sweet?
Three. I guess.
Next to Angela's
the one
Pizza.
With the big Galactic Comics sign on it.
We find it. So, but yeah, thanks again, Paul, for another horrible movie review.
Yeah, that sucked. That was a bad movie.
Well, the review was great. The movie was
great. The movie sucked. Yeah.
We'll talk soon, though, buddy. I appreciate it.